Hello everyone, Bertina Amy here, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I thought I would do a Dollar Tree DIY fairy in a jar. This would be a great project for a birthday party with some pre-prep. So I picked up this jar from the Dollar Tree, and since I'm a bit of a tissue hoarder, well, tissue paper anyway, I decided to use that to, quote, frost my jar. So I go ahead and repurpose a water cup from Starbucks, and using the Mod Podge from Dollar Tree, I go ahead and mix it with some water because I wanted it a little thinner. And for mine, I decided to use this tissue paper that had sparkles on it, and I go ahead and decoupage the tissue paper all around the outside of the jar, making sure to leave the top part where I would screw the lid back on completely free of tissue paper because that's really not necessary. I also decided to tear up the tissue paper as I went to ensure that I didn't go up into the lid area for the glass, and I went ahead and decided to cover up the bottom as well. So next, I didn't want to leave the lid completely silver like this. It would be great as a jar on its own, but for this project, I definitely wanted to cover it up. So I went ahead and gathered some supplies, looking at my stash for florals and lace, and pulled out these florals that I had intended for this project initially anyways, that I bought way earlier. And I really liked these because these were different. I like these metallic purples in there. So I thought I would go ahead and use the leaves as well as the actual florals as well. And I used the lace to cover up the outside rim area of the lid. And because I was making extra for our guests, I actually went ahead and measured it. You don't have to do this if you're only making one, but I go ahead and hot glue the selected lace that I had onto the rim of the lid. Then I decided to gather the leaves and try to create some kind of a pattern along the outside edges of the lid so that none of the silver part of the original lid will show. And I use it as a way to go ahead and decorate the lid too, as well as under the actual flower that will go on top. So here I take the flower and turn it around and cut off the stem because I want a flat back, and rather than removing the plastic pieces, which would actually make the flower fall apart, I just leave it intact and just cut the stem off the back. Then I go ahead, add hot glue to the backing, and then place it over top the leaves and the lid. Then to make sure it's totally secure, it's better to hot glue some of the petals down to the lid as well because fabric adheres to things like glass or metal a lot better than just plastic. Plastic doesn't want to stick very well, so it's better to go ahead and hot glue some of the petals into place as well. Then I ordered these fairies from Temu, and I wish they were a little smaller because they are gigantic and don't fit in many of the mason jars. I really like these though because they're already made for you, so you don't have to intricately cut out with an X-Acto knife a printed out version of this, which you can do as an alternative if you don't want to order anything off Temu. But due to my availability and scheduling for content creation, this is what I had to work with, and I didn't really have time to intricately cut out the design, but feel free to do so if you wish. Anyways, this pack came in 3 different styles of fairies and different like poses and things like that. So I had to select one that would actually fit within the jar. Of this pack, only one style would not fit in this jar at all. And this is the largest jar with a lid that you can get from Dollar Tree. As you saw, I went ahead and folded it in half and made a knot at the ends. Then I took one end and strung it through the hole and then pulled the other side in through the loop I just made. And then I'm taking this scrap bit of felt, cutting out some squares, and then cutting a slit in the center of those squares so I could pull the knotted end of the twine and then glue it to the back end of the piece of felt so that I have more surface area to attach it to the inside of the lid. And here I'm just going ahead and hot gluing the felted end to the inside of the lid. Then off camera, I go ahead and add batteries to my fairy lights and go ahead and put them inside the jar and the lid on top, and that's the end of the project. And I go ahead and embellish the top of the lid with a little blue dragonfly. And here's the final result. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you use tissue paper, I recommend referring to it as a secret fairy in a jar. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.